It started with a phone call that didn't feel real. The kind of call that makes you pull the phone away from your ear and stare at it, wondering if you misheard every word. It was my mother. Her voice clipped, certain, like she had rehearsed the speech. She told me I needed to let my sister and her 3 children move into my house. My house. The one I had just bought after years of saving, budgeting, and working late nights that bled into early mornings. I remember looking around as she spoke. The boxes weren't even unpacked yet. The air still had that faint scent of fresh paint. 3 bedrooms, a yard for my dogs to run in, and a quiet that felt like peace. For the first time in my adult life, I had a place that was mine. No roommates, no shared walls with strangers. Just me, my dogs, and the space I'd earned. But to my sister, the fact that I was single and child-free meant I didn't deserve it. She lived in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment with her 3 kids, and she'd been saying for months how it wasn't enough space. When she found out about my house, she didn't congratulate me. She didn't even hide her frustration. She told me I was being wasteful, that I didn't need all that room, that my life didn't justify the space I had. I reminded her that I had worked for this, that it was my money, my choice. But she didn't let it go. She went straight to our mother, framing me as selfish, as if my refusal to hand over my home was some moral failure. And now, my mother was echoing her words. She said the kids needed the space more than my dogs did, that my sister's growing family should come before my comfort. It was the kind of reasoning that sounds noble on the surface, until you realize what's actually being asked. I told her no. No one was going to live in this house except me. But I didn't stop there. I offered to help my sister financially so she could rent a bigger place. That way, she could have the space she wanted without uprooting my life. It should have been a fair solution. It wasn't. Within minutes, my sister was on the line. She shot down the offer without hesitation. She didn't want my help paying rent. She wanted my house. And then she said something I will never forget. She suggested a compromise. Her word, not mine. The compromise was that I could live in the house with her and her kids. She presented it like she was doing me a favor. It was absurd. The image flashed in my mind instantly. My home, no longer my own, children's toys scattered across the floor, every room claimed, my dogs tucked away in some corner, while I tried to navigate a house that no longer felt like mine. And the unspoken truth beneath it all. Once they moved in, they would never leave. I told her she had lost her mind, and I hung up. That should have been the end, but in families like mine, nothing is ever that simple. My mother called back, still siding with my sister. The pressure was relentless. The guilt, the insinuations, the idea that because I had stability, I was obligated to give it away. That my space, my money, my time, none of it was truly mine if someone else decided they needed it more. The thing is, I do understand that my sister's situation isn't easy. Raising 3 kids in a small apartment is hard. Money is tight. Space is limited. But her reality doesn't erase mine. Her choices don't become my responsibility just because we share blood. And yet, the narrative they were spinning made me second-guess myself in ways I didn't expect. I've always been the one who has it together, the one who helps, the one who makes room. There's a part of me that hates conflict, that wants everyone to be happy. But I also knew that if I gave in this time, it wouldn't be the last time. The escalation was fast and ugly, My sister told other relatives. My mother called again. The same words, over and over. Selfish, wasteful, unreasonable. The word selfish started to stick in my head like a splinter. Was I really putting my comfort over my nieces' and nephews' needs? But then I remembered the offer I'd made. Real financial help so she could get a bigger place, and how quickly she'd thrown it aside. This wasn't about the kids. This was about control, about entitlement, about taking something that wasn't hers to take. The turning point came when I realized there was no middle ground. My sister didn't want a solution. She wanted my house, with or without me in it. She wanted me to shrink my life so hers could expand. And my mother, for reasons I'll never fully understand, was willing to back her up. So I stopped negotiating. I stopped justifying. I stopped explaining why my life mattered just as much as hers. And I drew a line. The fallout wasn't pretty. My sister hasn't spoken to me since. My mother still thinks I'm wrong. The family group chat is quieter now, and I can feel the judgment in the silence. But my house is still mine. My dogs still run in the yard. And when I turn the key in the door, at the end of the day, the space I walk into still feels like home. I know my sister is struggling. I know she wishes she had more for her kids. But there's a difference between helping someone and surrendering everything you've worked for. And if I can't protect my own boundaries in my own home, then what can I protect? So, am I the asshole? If you were in my position, if someone you loved asked you to give up your home so they could have it, would you hand over the keys? Or would you hold your ground, knowing the fallout might never fully heal? Because sometimes the hardest thing to do is say no when everyone around you wants you to say yes. And here's my reflection as your host. This story isn't just about property or square footage. It's about the invisible contracts we inherit in families, the unspoken belief that those who have should give to those who don't, no matter the cost. That belief can come from love, but it can also come from entitlement. And the difference between the two is everything. Helping someone doesn't mean surrendering what you've built. Love doesn't require self-erasure, and boundaries, while they might look selfish, to those who benefit from your lack of them, are the only way to protect the life you've worked to create. So I'll leave you with this. If you had to choose between keeping the life you've earned and pleasing the people who want to take it from you, which choice would you make? And what would that choice say about the kind of life you believe you deserve?